I am currently in Allegheny Cemetery in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and just let me tell you this. Already, I can see that this is loaded with history. It's definitely an old cemetery, and anyone who watches my channel and has seen my work, you know how much I love the history associated with the famous graves as well. So we're going to go through some of that. Definitely some famous graves in here, but I want to show you some of the architecture and some of the age that's in the cemetery. You can tell this is an old cemetery, an old part of town, and I just want to show you some of that as well, in addition to the famous graves that I normally bring you. Also, my very first visit, I'm actually going to take you back to a tie-in with my home state of Kentucky. Thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate it. When Stephen Foster composed My Old Kentucky Home around 1852, he had no idea that it would go on to become the state song of Kentucky. In addition to My Old Kentucky Home, Foster was responsible for the composition of many classic standards such as Old Susanna, Camptown Races, and Sewanee River. Known as the father of American music, Pittsburgh native Foster is buried here in Allegheny Cemetery next to his parents. Sadly, Foster died at age 37 after he was stricken with a fever in January 1864. Don Brockett was a Pittsburgh area actor known for his portrayal of Chef Brockett on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. General James Negley was a Union Army general who achieved the rank of Major General. He was elected to the United States Congress in 1868. He was a commander in a militia organized to maintain order in the city of Pittsburgh. Allegheny Cemetery was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1980. And was incorporated in 1844, making it the sixth oldest rural cemetery in America. Cal Perry Rogers made the first transcontinental flight across the U.S. Unfortunately, he was killed during an exhibition in California. And just walking through Allegheny Cemetery, really enjoying my visit today. And like I mentioned earlier, there is just a lot of history here. And I mean, the age reflects that. And you just don't see these types of monuments, you just don't see those anymore. And hope you're enjoying the tour. In a cemetery of this size, it is nearly impossible to find every single notable grave. We do have some more famous graves to visit, but before that, I wanted to show you all some of the architecture within the cemetery itself. It amazed me just how elaborate some of the grave markers are in Allegheny Cemetery, and even those without a claim to fame still had some elaborate statues and stones. I was able to find graves of those who were born in the 1700s, which highlighted the age of the cemetery. There are over 120,000 memorials within the cemetery, and it now encompasses over 300 acres. And before we move on to visit more famous graves, I do want to remind you to please find me on Instagram and Facebook by searching for Whit Docs. I love hearing from my subscribers, and I love hearing where you all are from, so let me know. So now let's take a look at some more sites before moving on to our next famous grave. Jane Swisshelm was a women's rights advocate who revolutionized the way female reporters were viewed. She was the first female reporter in the U.S. House of Representatives Reporters Gallery. If you are ever in Pittsburgh, this is a stop that you need to make. Not only are there several notable graves, but the Victorian style architecture is must see. You could easily spend hours here, and you are seeing some more sights of the cemetery before we visit our final notable grave. J.B. Ford founded the Pittsburgh Plate Glass Company, now known as PPG. PPG is currently a Fortune 500 company. Ford passed away in 1903. This was certainly an educational visit for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you haven't, please click subscribe and come along with me on my future journeys. Again, find me on Facebook and Instagram by searching for Whitdocs. I feel like my subscribers are the best. I appreciate you all, and I will see you again soon.